So this is the second part of the video. So I got cut off the first part. So I was going over how $1 is equal to 100 pennies. So I want to know, how many pennies do I need in order to get 40 cents? I had just found out that I needed 4 dimes. 4 out of 10 dimes equaled 40 cents. I want to know pennies now. And I know that if 100 is equal to $1, I know that 40 pennies is going to be equal to 40 cents because 1 penny is 1 cent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on up to 40 cents. So I can say that 4 out of 10 dimes is equal to 40 out of 100 pennies. My last way is finding equivalent fractions for the equivalent fraction for 4/10 with 100 in the denominator. And I can use what I know about finding equivalent fractions. So for this one, I will show you guys that if I'm setting up to find equivalent fractions, I want to know, what did I multiply 10 by to get 100? And I know that I would do 10 times 10, and that equals 100. If I multiply 10 by 10 on the bottom, I know if I'm finding equivalent fractions, I have to multiply by 10 on the top. So 4 times 10 equals 40. So again, this is another way of finding out my equivalent fraction for 4/10 with hundreds in my denominator, hundredths. Okay, so 4/10 is equal to 40 hundredths. Let's see. For your next slide, I want you guys to practice finding the equivalent fractions with 10 and 100 in your denominator. So I'm going to find the equivalent fraction. 3 out of 10 equals what out of 100? I want to know 50 out of 100 equals what out of 10? That means I'm going to be using division for this one. And I want to know what 130 over 100 is. Equal to out of 10. When you guys have done those, you can move on to the next slide and it will show you the answer. And these are the answers to your previous slides. Oops, there was one mistake here. I want you guys to look at your zeros trick, especially for these. If I set up 50 out of 100 and 5 out of 10, I'll show you with the zero tricks how this works. Oh, it's so hard to write on here. 5 out of 10. I notice over here on my left side that I can actually, I have 1 0 on the top, 1 0 on the bottom. If I look over here, I have no 0 left here. So I took this 0 out, and I noticed that I also took another 0 out. So if I take one off the top, I have to take one off the bottom. That's another way to think about using your zeros tricks. For extra practice, you guys are going to do your workbook, page 209, number 1 and 2, and page 210, number 1 through 8. There is also another instructional video on Google Classroom if you need it.